lock in and buckle up because you're in for another creepy and scary TikTok reaction video that might just change your whole reality. I'm Jet Ski Chuck. Now let's get into it.
Why so few, you say? There are not a few of these giant trees. The remnants are everywhere. Our eyes only allow us to see small glimpses of what was. But the more your eyes open, the more you realize that these ancient trees were everywhere. You see, we have been told to dismiss what our eyes have told us for so long. Erasing all truths of the old world is a vast and extensive lie that branches off into all facets of our life. The lies are numerous, and the reason for it is quite simple. Those unaware of their true past, of their true capabilities and origins, are all that much more easier to control. It's not just about giant trees. Though the giant trees for me and many others were a big eye-opener to the true beauty of this world, to what's worth uncovering, and how much of it is hidden in plain sight for us to find. They want us thinking we're just hurtling around on a spinning rock in vast sea of nothingness, and we're just lumps of cells that don't matter, and all that around us is just rock. But trust me, friends, once you start opening your eyes to the true beauty of this realm, it truly inspires you and uplifts your spirits in ways you can never imagine. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
So now that we got all the science crap out the way, let's get into the good stuff.
Those giant trees was definitely a giant eye-opener for me as well. Once you see these giant things, these giant mesas as trees, there's no turning back and a lot more opens up. This is just the beginning, the tippy top of the iceberg, when there's so much more on these dark waters. That's interesting that they brought back an ancient tree. What did they say that tree was again? Was that true? You guys know if that's true or not? Drop it in the comments. Let's get back on these dark waters.
What this Dakota chief explains about this ancient tree, and also why they do not recognize this ancient tree as the Devil's Tower.
From Yankton, Ihunkton, Oyate land. What we have here is this grandmother tree. She's like this big avatar tree that you've seen in these movies. And her birth was like 200 million years ago. And over time, about 50 million years ago, this is what happened, in the condition that she's in now. That's the present day state. So there's 150 million years of life that she created here on Mother Earth. If you want to visit with her, no matter where you're at, go sit with a tree, see? Because her roots, they go all the way out, maybe up to 400 miles out of here. And they're attached to each root of every tree that you see on this earth. And these trees, they're connected to grass as well, the roots of the grass. So no matter where you're at, sit and visit and talk with the tree, because as a collective consciousness of all creation, of all unconditional love, it's going to come back to this tree, this grandmother. So there's many names for her. There's many names over the centuries and centuries of people that lived here, the indigenous tribes. They all had a different name based on the timelines that they lived. So we're talking about 150 million years, or maybe even 150 million names that she carries. So she has many names. We do not recognize the name Devil's Tower at all because it does not honor her. Mitakuye Oyasi.
I know it as Devil's Tower because that's what they told us, but I agree, that is not an appropriate name for it. You know, they try to throw us off. And I don't necessarily agree with it being around for millions of years as well. You know, as far as I'm concerned, you know, we only been around for about 8,000, 9,000 maybe. But that's for a different video. Have you guys ever seen Paradise Falls? Guess what? Giant tree stump. The movie Up, where he was going to take his loved one to, the Disney movie Up, Paradise Falls. Yes, certivan giant tree. Let's check it out. You can look at this photo right here. Before I even play it, you can look at it right here and see all the wood all up in it. Look at that. That's all wood. My question is how does the water come out of it? With that waterfall, is it coming through the middle of the tree? I would like to see exactly where the water comes out of that of Paradise Falls. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Was that cool or what? Tell me this isn't a tree. Look me in my face and tell me this isn't a giant tree. Come on, y'all. Where y'all at? Wow, it's coming right out of the middle, right off the edge. This is interesting. If you guys know if you guys know anything about more giant trees, giant stumps, mesas, plateaus, please drop your favorite ones and more in the comments below. I think I got one more for you.
You can. Hello, tree. If you can hear me, how are you doing today? And I'm gonna put my hand way away. If you can hear me, touch my hand. If you can hear me, touch my hand. Come on, you can do it. Touch my hand, tree. You want me to come closer? A little bit closer? Is that too much of a stretch? If you can hear me, touch my hand. Now, as you can see, the wind is kind of picking up right here. Touch my hand. You see the wind? It touched my hand. I know y'all saw that. It's not about... So what I was saying is, although the wind assisted the tree in helping it touch my hand, it could all work together. It's nature. We can't say, oh, because the wind, there was no wind blowing before I started talking to the tree. As soon as I said, greeted the tree, it instantly started like tremoring, and then it's like the wind just suddenly picked up, and the wind only picked up enough to cause the tree to move and touch my hand. And immediately when I stopped talking to the tree, the wind ceased. So this is real. I would never get on here and say, oh my god, the tree touched my hand. Like it was completely what you guys saw is what you guys got.
Hello, tree.
Hey, I'm with her on that. I saw it. The wind bounced and it touched her. You know, that's crazy. That makes me want to go out, and put your hand out, and it's like the plants react to it. It's like, if you got like a pure good soul, maybe it does a little bit extra more, for you, like touch you or something. I don't know. Your thoughts below. Can trees communicate like on some Avatar type stuff? Does it have memories? Maybe they're not telling us everything that we need to know about trees. That's why we're on these waters, to figure it out. So get you something to drink. I hope the audio's a little bit better. I'm trying to turn it out. I'm doing my best with the audio. Keep in mind these different TikToks fluctuate, so I'm trying my best, y'all. But anyways, get you something to drink, get you a snack, and sit on tight, lock in, and buckle up, because we're doing movies now. We're going to dive into these trees. What's going on with this ether, going on with the plants, the photosynthesis, breathing? What's really going on with the trees? But that did remind me of Avatar. I wonder the correlation with that. Where did Avatar get its, inspiration?
The beautiful symphony of stones in Armenia. But this is no stone from some ancient hexagonal column spewing volcano. The parasites told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was the final, most essential command.
And if somebody hurts you, I wanna fight, but my hand's been broke.
So is that the root system from a tree? That has to be, man. The hexagonal pattern. Man, that's creepy. They put a giant village on the top, man. Imagine the energy that village is getting staying on the top of that tree. That's interesting. I need more information about that village on the tree, man. These waters are never ending. Man, these dark waters are never ending. I'll be watching something. I'm like, man, what is that? I'll be watching something else. I'm like, what is that? And I get so many questions layered on top of each other. And then I get an answer to something else I had a question for. So these waters are never ending. As long as we get on these waters, we're going to get more questions. Definitely more questions than answers on these waters. That's a fact.
Okay, y'all gotta see this. I just talked to a tree. Yes, I talked to a tree. I saw it on TikTok, so I went to my backyard and I talked to a tree and it responded to me. And I called my sister. She's not picking up the phone, but I need you guys to see this. Okay, there is nothing on the side of me. There's nothing on the side of me, nothing above me. Okay, tree, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder. Okay. Tree, did you guys see that? If you can hear me, touch my shoulder. Oh my God. Thank you. Tree, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder.
That tree was really touching her shoulder. Y'all can't tell me that tree wasn't touching her shoulder, y'all. Y'all believe that? I believe it, man. It looked like I didn't see nobody behind her and no green screen, lifting it. It looked real, I think it's real. What do y'all think?
Can you touch my shoulder again? Please? Can you? You gotta really touch it. Are you trying to give me a hug?
So now that we got all the science crap out the way, let's get into the good stuff. Now, here's the theory, plain and simple. Around our planet, there are hundreds of land masses known as mesas. This is an isolated hill with a flat top and very steep sides. And some believe that these mesas are actually ancient, giant tree stumps. Why do they believe this? Because they look like giant tree stumps. Now, that's not too hard to believe given the size of the sequoias in California, one in particular, General Sherman. Over 2,700 years old, with a 25-foot base and 275-foot height, it is one of the oldest living trees in the world. So even if the oldest tree in the world is over 5,000 years old, then what happened to the older trees? These mesas look like the remains of trees that have been cut down, not to mention the mountains, which look like trees that have been broken off at their base. I completely understand that this sounds crazy, and even I wanted nothing to do with it when it first came up. But the more you look into it, the realer it gets.
This tree was dead for 2,000 years. This is the Judean date palm, a tree that thrived during biblical times and was widely known for its medicinal properties. However, it went extinct over 1,000 years ago. But wait, if it went extinct that long ago, how do we have pictures of it? Well, there was one place where the seeds still remained, and it was inside the caverns of an ancient Israeli palace, unexplored until the early 1950s. Now, even though it was found in the 50s, scientists believed the seeds were ungrowable until two curious women scientists decided to take on the impossible back in 2005. After only 3 weeks of attempting to germinate these trees back into existence, the seedlings managed to get their first sprouting, and not long after, the seeds became fruit-bearing trees.
Damn, there it is. Cape Town, Africa, Table Mountain. You can see it right there. This one is absolutely massive. Let me know in the comments below if you see this. Oh, could this be an excavation site where they piled up a bunch of dirt? Who knows? Wow, here's a closer look at Table Mountain. Wow. So these trees were up in the clouds. You can sit there and see that they call this the tablecloth that goes across Table Mountain. How cool is that? Bet it is peaceful. Nobody's up there. Uh-oh, they getting it in. Uh-oh. I ain't mad at y'all. Have fun, man. But we trying to see that mountain. If I could stop it on time. I keep missing it, y'all. Uh-oh, here's another interesting hypothesis. Let me turn this one up. Rewind it. Okay.
So tell me, do you believe, was Disney trying to tell us something?
Every movie, Disney's trying to tell you something.
So I believe there's a petrified giant in Cape Town, and he's laying on his back snoozing.
Interesting. That last person said there's a giant. That's a giant actually on his back. But for me, it just is too flat for it to be a giant. It could be, but I think it might be a petrified tree. You see, that boy is flat. In Enoch, they talk about the angels that labored on the trees. Could this be one? Let me know your thoughts below. It's a beautiful city. I would go there. I wonder if they have any ancient buildings in that. Up there's one. There it is. One of the ancient buildings. Even in Africa. Ooh, look at the dome. Man, those things stick out like the sore thumbs, man. Everywhere you can see these ancient buildings. If you guys been following my videos, y'all know what I'm talking about. And y'all gotta be careful when y'all travel, man. Y'all can see that giant boulder falling on this mountain. I wonder if there's more to that story. Cape Town, Africa, giant tree. What y'all think about that? Comments below. There's more mesas out there. There's probably some we haven't even discovered. Who knows how many is covered up under the Antarctic ice? You know, there's some that's probably buried under the ground. I don't know. And think about this. Here's an interesting hypothesis. With Egypt being in America, what way does the Devil Tower play a role now? That's something to think about. Like the location, and if Egypt is in Africa, is the Devil's Tower connected some way into the book of Ezekiel when they were speaking about giant trees? That's just something to think about. I don't know, man, but the pieces are lining up. Dark Waters 9, y'all.
You can see how long a tree has been around, just like this. I want to show y'all these. These are not AI. These are from 1891. They used to chop these trees down. That's how big trees used to be. This is not AI generated. This is from 1891. You can see how long a tree has been around, just like this. One of the reasons why all those AI photos started coming out is to discredit the real photos. Well, that's AI generated. This isn't. This is real. This is why I try to tell people. That's why they did that, bro. A lot of photos from Tartarian and the older civilizations are coming out, so people can discredit them. This real, baby.
Devil's Tower. Surrounded all around it is its little baby offspring. Mere twigs standing in the shadow of their massive ancestor. For those with open eyes, you can see it all over. But here's a little more signs of the ancient trees from our past.
So really quick, I'm going to show you this, how the trees are fibers, and for some reason this shows the true color. A big chunk of this just fell off. See part of the grain. This is the way the fibers are right here. See? Hold on a second. You see it's nothing but wood. Okay?
Wow, he literally just broke off a piece of wood off that giant tree, man. Where is this? We got y'all in the headlock. There's no escaping this. These were trees. This is checkmate right here.
Okay, so we're gonna go down over here and I'll show you a little more. Okay? See here. And at an angle. Okay? All this, everything. This whole mountain in a 100-mile radius. From right over here. You see, this looks just like freshly chopped wood. We peeled a piece off of there. This is what we see. This is the wood. See that? That's just got the moss on it. And all this here, all the way back up in here, I'll show you that in a second. You come right here, and you see, we'll peel a piece off here. It's just wood. It's so crazy. All this. And then you go right over here. See? This is the fresh stuff. This is what we see.
How cool is that? Those things look like you can throw them in a fire right now, man. That's how much wood it looked like. Drop in the comments your thoughts below.
Oldest tree, known as Methuselah, is a Great Basin bristlecone pine that is over 4,800 years old. Although its exact location is kept secret to protect it from potential harm, much has been learned from this living relic. The longevity of the bristlecone pine is attributed to its ability to thrive in an environment characterized by freezing temperatures, arid soils, and relentless winds. Its gnarled, twisted branches are sculpted by rapid mountain air currents, providing stability and reducing the likelihood of breakage during storms. These ancient trees hold valuable secrets about our changing climate. Studying their tree rings, researchers can create accurate climate models going back thousands of years. Findings include evidence of temperature fluctuations, precipitation variability, and even large volcanic eruptions. Trees not only have the ability to reveal information about past climates, they also play a crucial role in helping to stabilize global temperature through the sequestration of carbon dioxide in their roots and in the soil. Follow Conservation International to learn more about how nature can help us.
What's good, world? All over the globe, we can see evidence of giant trees. But who cut them down?
Dang, did you see that leaf in the beginning? I'm sorry. Wow, that is fascinating.
What's good, world? All over the globe. We can see evidence of giant trees, but who cut them down and why?
Wow, that music is relaxing to this. Is that one by a seashore? Did you see that? Look at this one. Where is that one at? Chat, you know where that one's at? Please jump in the comments. I need to know where this one is.
How old do you think this tree is? Here's a hint. These are some of the most ancient trees.
If you guys have any information on where that last one was, that giant one tree stump in the water, please jump in the comments and help your boy out. We need to figure this one out. She hit that. Was that really her mouth doing that?
Why someone might want to communicate with a tree. Why someone might want to communicate with a tree.
She hit that.
And this is what he said. Trees are very wise beings, especially the ancient ones. Why someone might want to communicate with a tree. And this is what he said. Trees are very wise beings, especially the ancient ones. We know all of the ins and outs of what happens beneath the soils. We know what happens above the soils, and because we are so long-lived, we hold the traditional knowledge, and it is passed on from generation to generation between the tree species. We have our own form of communicating with each other, and part of that is to share and hold true the ways of the past. What might it look like if someone built a relationship with a tree? Well, that all depends on the individual tree and person willing to check in. We hold space for the location we live in. We have observed many changes over eons and eons of time and hold knowledge that has been long forgotten by people. It would be wise to discuss such changes with the trees and people and build our relationships back up. It hasn't been that long in tree years or the lifetime of any ancient tree that we used to commune with the peoples of the land, but it does feel far in some aspects because nobody cares for the trees anymore, not like they used to.
The concept of world trees, deeply rooted in mythology and religious beliefs across various cultures, symbolizes a central axis connecting different realms or dimensions within the universe. Often depicted as colossal ancient trees, they serve as a metaphorical bridge between heaven, earth, and the underworld. These majestic arboreal beings hold immense significance and are believed to embody the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. In Norse mythology, the world tree, known as Yggdrasil, stands at the heart of the cosmos, linking the 9 realms, while its branches extend far into the heavens and its roots delve deep into the realms below. Similarly, in various other mythologies such as Hindu, Mayan, and Celtic, analogous world trees exist, acting as vital conduits between the different planes of existence and fostering a profound sense of interconnectedness among all living beings. Beyond mythology, the concept of world trees has also found its place in modern literature, gaming, and popular culture, often representing a focal point of power, wisdom, and cosmic significance. The allure of world trees lies in their mystical nature, serving as a source of inspiration for countless stories and adventures, bridging the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary, and reminding us of the profound interconnectedness of all things in our vast and wondrous universe.
You guys look at Elden Ring. That whole game is based around a tree, one giant tree. Could that be the world tree? I'm telling you, they're throwing it right in our faces. I'm sure you guys could think of some other movies that involve some giant trees.
So I see that everyone's going outside and talking to their trees because you're realizing that nature is conscious. If you can hear me, can you please touch my shoulder? There's nothing here. Just a beautiful tree. If you can hear me, tree, please touch my shoulder. She already knew. Look. And I'll move over. If you can hear me, can you please touch my shoulder? It wasn't windy right before I started recording this. Try it out for yourself because you're going to flip the fuck out.
Hush. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
One last time, really loud. 1, 2, 3.
What is this?
No, you weren't just tripping. Trees really do talk to each other. Many biologists refer to the network of trees and plants communicating in the forest as the wood wide web. Through their root system, trees connect with millions of underground fungi called mycelium. Ecologist Suzanne Simmer discovered that trees communicate their needs and share nutrients with other trees in their vicinity. They even search for family members, send warning signals to one another, and help dying plants get the nutrients they need. There is a sacred intelligence happening all around us if we just tune in.
I was throwing a tree.
The sacred. Dang, she was on something with that mycelium. I heard about that before. What's the significance with mycelium? And trees communing with each other? That reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. Shout out to all my people that like Lord of the Rings. That's one of my favorite top 3s, man. I love Lord of the Rings. When those trees were walking around and stuff, man, this is getting good. I love this stuff, man.
There's over 200 of these trees of life that literally touch the top of the firmament. They're not volcanoes. This isn't my first rodeo. They have a root system. They aren't trees that would look like that. These are on a whole nother level. And yes, there's a root system underneath the Devil's Tower. Tower, 2 wards. Magdala, woman of Magdala. So again, this is not my first rodeo. I don't want to hear how they took samples from the Devil's Tower. It's rock. Dude, it's called petrified. They got scared, turned into stone. It's not stone, it's petrified wood. Knock on wood, Hollywood, Woden's Day. It doesn't matter what culture. Like I said, there was over 200 trees. So this is where you get Christmas. This is where they're cutting down the trees of life from. Abracadabra, the 3 Abrahamic religions. This is what I say is ice. It's the top of the pyramid. They had pyramids, which came after these because they needed these. 30% more oxygen. It's bull, genesis. Created genetics, what a gene is. Genies. So, all around the world. There's one place in particular called Seratana. It's very interesting. But nevertheless, we're going to go over some more pictures. The movie Up, this is where they did Angel Falls, Paradise Falls. It's from a real place. It's laser harnessed sun energy beyond your guys' depths of comprehension. This has nothing to do.
This wordplay is interesting. Did you hear what he just said? They harness the sun energy. If you guys know anything more about that, let me know. Listen to what he just said.
A real place. It's laser harnessed sun energy.
Laser harness sun energy. That is beyond my comprehension, but I would love to know more about that, brother.
Beyond your guys' depths of comprehension. This has nothing to do about a big axe. These are giants, the jinn. So let's take a couple more ganders and then we'll get into it. Okay. Flat all the way around. It's not like a big mountain or a big rock. Like, I've heard so many theories. They're funny to me. And you guys might think, well, this is just a theory too. Like, it's whatever. This isn't my first rodeo. I must have said that 3 times by now because it isn't. And I've heard so many theories. I don't argue with people. We live in a firmament to become firmer men. It's a firmer mind, firmament. I know these words. I know where we come from. Don't be dumb. Don't be dome. A dome. Okay? It's Ganesha. This is Genesis. Okay? 6 protons, neutrons, electrons. So, root systems all around. Because they were trees of life. They're giants, physical giants that got petrified and physically cut down. This is physical, father sickle, where the sick or ill. Okay? Grim Reaper, you reap what you sow. It's Grim Reaper, has a scythe, a Seth. It's god of chaos in Egypt. Santa, Satan claws, referring to the claustrum. This is ho, ho, ho. They're pharmacist tools. Harm or assist you. From pharmakeia, heal or hell. So the trees kept you in full alkalinity, in alignment, elach, in mint mind.
Ancient giant trees.
That was interesting. A lot of that stuff went over my head, but it was very interesting. Your guys' thoughts below. Let's keep going on these dark water 9s.
Volcanoes are not natural. We was told in school that this is a volcano and that something weird happens under the earth with the tectonic plates that rises and cause the volcano to explode. That ain't what the fuck that is. This is the ash remains from the giant machines they used after cutting the trees. When they was sawing the trees down, if you ever seen a tree machine that they used to saw trees down with, as trees are getting sawed down, on the back of that machine, it's letting out all type of dust that is pouring onto the ground, just like when your ass barbecuing. So what they taught us was a volcano is nothing more than the acidic remains from the giant machines they had, and these remains just sit there. And since these remains had chemical compounds in them, what happens is over time, the chemicals from these remains, these is nothing but an ash pile, people. Imagine a giant machine. This ain't a volcano, was nothing but an ash pile. This is how they hide the truth in plain sight. More technology, because we don't know about the giant trees and the giant machinery. So we thinking volcanoes exploding. A volcano ain't shit but the ash remains from the machines they used to cut our spiritual giant trees down. All right? So that's why every now and then, the acidic remains rise and explode.
Damn, did you see that one picture where it had the Tartarian building in front of the tree? That was interesting.
So we thinking volcanoes exploding. A volcano ain't shit but the ash remains from the machine.
Right here. These look just like the Tartarian buildings. Look at that, man. Tell me these don't look like the Tartarian buildings on this picture. I need more information on this picture.
Machines they used to cut our spiritual giant trees down. All right? So that's why every now and then, the acidic remains rise and explode and create this effect, what we call a fucking volcanic explosion, which is nothing more than all the acids boiling up over the years and exploding. Because you got to remember, been here 500 years.
The first 3 months up here were the most difficult for me. I was broken physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I had to be broken on every level. And the reason I had to be was because when I prayed and I said, okay, if this is what I'm meant to do, then please, Creator, use me. Allow me to be a vessel. In order for me to be a vessel, to be used, I had to have my attachments broken. Because attachments make us solid. You can't be a vessel, a true vessel, if you're attached. You have to be emptied out first. You have to be shaped and formed.
When I climbed into the tree, I was still very attached to comfortability. I was attached to fear. I was attached to anger and frustration and sadness. I reached a point where it was learn and transform or die. Two days after the men pulled out from having me intercede, the worst storm came. It lasted 18 hours. And it was howling. It sounded like wild banshees, the tarps. Like that, but times like 1,000, just. The wind was so hard that the platform was tilted at an angle like this. It was just a constant 60, 70 mile an hour wind that had the platform tilted. And then the 90 mile an hour gust would come and wham! And just fling me. Just whoop! I went flying.
I worried about her a lot, like when it was raining, when it was cold. Like last winter we had snow and ice up there, like icicles hanging off the tree and stuff, and I can't imagine what she was going through when it was like that cold.
It's interesting how this experience has taught me about letting go of attachments. And I thought I had let go of all of my attachments. I'd sold all my belongings. I'd been living in a tree for a couple of months at this point. You know, I'd really been proud of myself for letting go. But that night I realized the one thing I hadn't let go of was my attachment to my own life. And I was trying so hard to stay alive that I was clenched. My teeth were clenched, my eyeballs were clenched, my muscles are clenched. It's like maybe if I just clenched hard enough, I would hold on to my life. And meanwhile, it's just, and hail's flying at me and bouncing off of me, and I'm getting hit with sleet, and I'm sopping wet and getting thrown all over the place. And the hardest gust is when I literally flew like 3 feet over a branch of Luna. And I grabbed onto it. I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I want to be strong for you, Luna. I want to be strong for the forest, but I can't even be strong for me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I heard this voice. Think of the trees in a storm. Okay, I'm thinking. It started to come to me, and I start thinking the trees in the storm. The trees that try too hard to stand up strong and straight are the ones that break. The only ones that make it through are the ones that bend and flow and let it go. Julia, now is the time you two have got to let it go. You can't be strong. You can't stay attached, not even to your own life. You got to bend and you got to flow. That's the way to make it through this storm, and that's the way to make it through the storms of life. So I did. I let go. I started hooping and hollering and screaming and laughing and crying. And if there'd been a hidden camera, we would have gone, she's nuts. And I was, but that's how I made it through. And the reason I made it through is because I let go of my life. It was like, okay, if I die, I die. Because I've let go of my fears now that come along with being afraid to die or being afraid to get hurt, they don't have any control over me anymore. No one has control over me anymore. You want to hurt me? You want to stoop to your lower self? Bring it on. Because you're not taking my love. You're not taking my exuberance. You're not taking my zest for life. And when I go, I'm going to go and I'm going to howl and rage to the very end, you know? And that storm taught me that lesson.
Hey, your thoughts below, man. My opinion, she's a beast for that, man. That took guts. Saved that tree's life. Lived in that tree for 2 years. She was probably getting energized up while she was in that tree, to be honest. But yeah, I'll give it to her, man. She's a beast.
What is the secret to growing giant plants? Do you ever remember seeing pictures of giant cabbages or giant pumpkins? What may have been the secret to growing these vegetables is a lost farming technology known as electroculture. The way that electricity affects plants was first observed in 1746 by a Scottish doctor named Dr. Mainbray. He electrified 2 trees and observed them putting forth new branches in October, something which had never happened before. In 1902, physicist Professor Lemstrom visited Alaska and observed plants growing faster under the aurora borealis. Due to the worldwide shortage of fertilizer, Countries like China are investigating the use of electroculture and finding amazing results. They are achieving a 25 to 50% increase in yield with a 75% reduction in fertilizers and pesticides. Let's help spread the word about electroculture farming.
They don't.
So I wanted to go through a little different electroculture antenna designs. Check all these. This is the fun part about electroculture, is that people are getting to use their creative side and create all different type of atmospheric antennas to boost their yields and get more food, right? Because every person should have abundance. Nobody should be suffering from food shortages. And my buddy on TikTok, he made this video and I just wanted to show it, all these different types of designs. He's basically messing around with copper and all these different beautiful materials to create these antennas, placing them down into the soil so that they can gather the atmospheric energy that's all around us, right? We don't need pesticides, we don't need fertilizer, we don't need Monsanto. We don't need any of the toxic sludge that they try to sell us. All we need is the beautiful energy that's all around us, the chi, the prana, the life force. And we can use these types of atmospheric antennas to harness all that so that we all can have abundance when it comes to.
Wow, you can actually prove if you're getting electricity to the dirt. That's fascinating. Look how giant that strawberry was. That strawberry looks like an apple. That was crazy. Dang, it looks like it's breathing. Oh, it came out of nowhere. That one's a little creepy. There's another one look like it's walking. It just doesn't make any sense. Why? Yes, Lord of the Rings. That's where we seen it. We were just talking about this. And who knows how strong of a vibration those walking trees was going. Look at all these books talking about walking trees. There's got to be a little bit of truth.
Copper goes down into the bottom of that planer, goes west, comes out, goes underground, goes into this one, underground, it goes through all of them. Then you bring it over here, and it's hooked up to the bottom of this aluminum copper, and this copper goes down into the bottom of that planer, goes west, comes out, goes underground, goes into this one, underground, it goes through all of them. Then you bring it over here, and it's hooked up to the bottom of this aluminum pole, and they got a big zinc bolt in it, so it causes an electromagnetic field. You go around, and there's no bugs here, no bugs. That all grew in 5 days, everything doubled in size. That went from here to there. This is spilling over. That grew about 1.5 feet in 5 days.
A lot of people are asking, what can I
It's getting that time, y'all. It's getting that time to drop these seeds. It's getting time to drop your seeds and get ready to start growing crops. It's scary that they haven't been telling us about this copper. What is the significance of it? And how do we grow our better crops? With these scary and creepy TikToks, let's get to the bottom of it.
can I do with the electroculture? How do I do this? And how do I get the harnessing of the earth? And here you go. Perfect example. You could take a little piece of wood, you could wrap some copper right around there, place that right into the dirt, and that will work like an antenna that will gather ether, which is the energy that's all around us that Nikola Tesla, Wilhelm Reich, Victor Schauberger, and all these people talked about. And that energy will then come down into the dirt. It will magnetize the dirt, so the dirt will become stronger. And this is a plant that's just put on the balcony. So this is nothing even in the earth. This is just on the balcony, but you can do this with your plants on the earth as well too, and it will enhance the magnetism. Basically what happens is our soil starts to get dried out because the magnetism of the soil, it starts to deplete and it pretty much becomes dead. There's no more life force or ether inside that soil, so we need to reestablish that and harness that and bring that back. And this is a simple technique you can use.
So your crops can harness the ether. It's getting the magnetism back. Shout out to Cultivate and Elevate for that information. I never done this before. Have you guys did? And are you going to try and put some copper rods or some type of copper pyramid on your crops today to help them grow better? I'm going to try it, and I hope that I get some better results. If you do, be sure to give them out. Give it away. You know, if you can't eat it all, try preserving it. All right, I made copper rods for each bed. Wow, those things look juicy. Strawberries.
Alright, I got bored. Check this shit out. So I heard that putting copper in your plants energizes them and helps them grow, so that's what I've been doing today. I was doing just this, and then I kind of started making designs, and the designs got better as I went. That kind of looks like a pot leaf, but you get the point, right? This was actually one of my first ones, but it's still one of my favorites. This is probably my coolest one, but this one is by far my favorite.
The results are coming in more and more daily of the amazing benefits of electroculture gardening. And I just had to share some of the recent success stories I found that have came across my feeds, just showing you what just basically a little bit of copper can do in your home garden this year. And up here in Wisconsin, if it ever stops snowing and warms up, I hope to share some of my own successes, my own setups I have. And for those not familiar with Electroculture, just head on over to my Telegram page, link is in bio, and check out some of the great books I have in downloadable PDF form, and relearn what was quite common in our not-too-distant past. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
These 3 coils here. If you make this coil and wrap copper wire, I made these 3 coils here. If you make this coil and wrap copper wire or galvanized wire and have 4 or 5 inches, a little antenna sticking out at the top, put it in the ground 5 or 6 inches. It will do something electrically and magnetically to the soil that is beneficial to the microorganisms in the soil. And it energizes it. You're supposed to get bigger crops and make things a lot better. So I don't know, what have I got to lose? I'm trying to see what happens. I've got strawberries growing here, and we'll see what happens to the strawberries.
So does electroculture really work? I gotta say I was skeptical myself, but let's take a look. I can say I've never had carrots this big in my garden before. And look at these peppers. Aren't they beautiful? The chili peppers are thriving. And my cabbages are the size of basketballs, weighing in at 20 pounds. The potatoes were...
I need that cabbage so I can make me some egg rolls. I'm going to try making an egg roll recipe. If you guys know how to make egg rolls, give me a good recipe in the comments below. And how do I get that rice paper or whatever paper to roll a good egg roll? I've been craving some good egg rolls, spring rolls lately.
Were bountiful. So what do you think? I'm giving it a thumbs up.
The results are coming in more and more daily of the amazing...
This is your copper rod. It goes 6 feet down. This one I bought from Home Depot. It's 8 foot by 5/8, and you want at least 6 feet into your soil. That's a must to get the best reception of the antenna. This is 16 gauge copper wire. Also bought it from Home Depot. I ran it to this coil. You're going to want to make a copper coil and put it in the center of your bed, and that's going to create a magnetic field. And then the other end of it, I just ran another wire to the antenna itself. And this antenna, I know it's a monstrosity piece of work, but I smoked a bowl the other night and this is what I came up with. And I took copper wire and I used my vise as well as pliers to wrap it around the quartz crystal really, really tight, almost to the point of cracking the crystal, because you want a lot of pressure on it. And yeah, this is an old tiki torch. I didn't throw it away. I like to repurpose things. And the cool thing about this is you can see there's a little stand right above the quartz, little copper stand. I could take an orgone pyramid and just let it sit right above that quartz and do that as well. Could also add more copper if I want to. So let me get this done and then I'll give you another update. All right, so the first thing that I did was get a copper rod from Home Depot. It's an 8 foot, got 16 gauge.
Watch this electroculture antenna work its magic on these beats. These plants were suffering from lack of electron charge in the soil. This is how they looked before. Now 3 days after applying electroculture. Start electrifying your plants today.
So I've been talking about electroculture success stories. Wait till you see this one.
It's a couple of weeks since I spoke to you last, and here we have another insane bumper crop of veggies that have come from a handful of plants. And quite frankly, there is no reason for hunger in the world for the sake of a bit of wire and some copper. This came from a courgette plant. How insane is the size of this? This is, you know, the size of the cucumbers we're getting. And they are juicy, they are sweet, they are huge. So anybody can do this for the sake of getting a piece of copper, winding it round a stick or a piece of bamboo, getting some fat antenna that you can create and shoving it in the ground next to your plants. This is the result that you will get. And I'm immensely proud of it. I'm not used to growing vegetables. I've never done it in my life before. This is my first attempt and I couldn't be prouder. what makes me even happier is that I'm able to take this down to the Chard Hub for the people who don't have gardens, who don't have any food, and we can share this wonderful bounty. So, as I keep saying, Electroculture rocks, and I'm really pleased to be showing you this.
Electroculture. I'm telling you guys, you can do, your food will be so big, you can share it with people. That's the beautiful part about this, is that you can share it to people that need it. You know, it's a beautiful thing, you know, a bounty. You know, I'm gonna try it myself. I'm gonna keep you guys posted, and I'm gonna let you guys know my personal results on growing this. I'm gonna try some strawberries. I'm gonna try it all. You know, if you guys are gonna do this, jump in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are growing and what you guys are going to try out, because it's scary that they're withholding this information. You know, we gotta watch these TikToks and figure out what's the best way to do it. Do we have to wrap up crystals? Are we doing some antenna? Are we burying it? It looks like you got to go to Homes or Lowe's or some hardware store near you and get copper rods to get started. I don't know. Do pennies work? Would you be able to drop a penny? You know, I think you really need those copper rods, though. I wonder how much they are.
Lord of the Rings is a factual true story. J.R.R. Tolkien really went to Mordor
at all.
And Ents are real. That's
walking trees, Ents, aka walking trees.
What it looks like is like if somebody were able to carry around a 30 to 40 foot tall, full-grown tree.
Well, it looks like
they're looking for a place to set it down.
Picking up a tree
but
and walking
there's no
with it.
way.
No,
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Even a Bigfoot.
Well, hold on.
Carrying that's a giant tree. What we're looking at here, guys, is some of these videos are
incredible.
They're actually walking and moving. Then others are just massively swaying back and forth, back and forth. And none of the trees around them, by the way, are moving either, which is interesting.
But they all, they're not just moving like swaying. They look like they're moving like they're running around on the ground. Like it's weird.
Like this one right here is swaying. To me, isn't it?
No, but it's going all the way over. Look at it move
that is
there.
weird.
That sucker's moving.
So it does kind of look like it's
falling over.
Pacing back.
Or Sasquatch picked it up and it's dragging it around. Something big picked it up. It's like, I need this tree.
Forth and then falling all the way over.
Anybody that's ever seen something like this?
It's hard to describe.
Let me know. Where's this forest? Is it in the new Zelda? I mean,
there's a bunch of them.
I want to check it out.
So there you go. Walking trees. Ents.
I got to say, though, I'd be pretty freaked out if I was camping and I saw that happen.
Tolkien's giving a thumbs up right now, dude.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I've been seeing these videos of trees moving. Now, this looks really weird. It was caught on drone footage, as you can see. It seemed like the trees are moving, or at least one of the trees is moving wildly. Or communicating with the other trees. Now, they do say that trees do move like 2 to 3 centimeters every couple of years, but this is wild. You can actually see the tree moving as if it's ice skating. You'll see it moving all the way to the left like it just did, all the way to the left. Now, this is weird. Here go more videos on trees moving. Like, look at this. This is so crazy looking. The way that they're moving. They say in Central and North America that this does happen often, that trees usually ground their roots real deep into the location that they really want to move to because they might be in the shaded area or they're trying to move towards the sun. This right here was caught by a YouTuber in the West Woods of England, and it seemed to be showing the ground breathing of some sort or the roots under there trying to relocate themselves as if the trees are about to move. Almost kind of looks scary, like an earthquake. Never have us ever seen anything like this. All this tree movement starting to scare me. Some people say that they could be haunted by souls or spirits, but as you can see, this tree right here was caught on cell phone footage of somebody at a gas station, and this tree seemed to be in distress. It's moving real dramatically, almost as if somebody's shaking it and moving it mechanically, but it's moving so far, almost like it's walking. I don't know, that really looks so scary. Look how far it went. That's wild. This is somebody that was out camping or hiking with his friends. And out of nowhere, he sees this humongous tree moving, which I would have been so scared if I'd have seen this. Like, how can it be moving, or who is moving this? This is so wild. That just tells you we have not noticed or know everything that's in nature already. We're so busy looking at Mars and everything else, we haven't discovered Earth all the way. 95% of the water, we haven't even discovered 95% of the ocean on Earth. But we so busy worrying about other planets. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think.
I've been seeing these videos of trees moving.
You damn right. Only 95% have been discovered. That's why we're on these waters. We're on these waters trying to figure out the truth. Why are these trees moving? And don't get me started about these big giant trees that's out here. I believe they're called mesas. You know, he said we're worried about Mars and all that stuff. He hit the nail on the head, didn't he? We need to worry about what's on Earth. Everything's on Earth. We geocentric around this.
The Lord of the Rings, the ancient In The Lord of the Rings, the ancient Ents were a race created by Yavanna to act as guardians of the trees. While sentient, the Ents did not possess the ability to speak until the elves shared their knowledge with them. As tree-like beings, Ents gradually became more like the trees they protected over the course of millennia, varying in appearance according to the species of tree they watched over. During the siege of Isengard, they destroyed the dams that Saruman's minions had built, causing a catastrophic flood, and later routed an army of orcs sent to invade Rohan. After their heroic efforts during the War of the Ring, King Ilisar presented the Ents with Man Varunir as a gift of gratitude. This land became known as the Watchwood and the Treegarth of Orthanc, and the Ents moved many of their trees there to continue their noble work as shepherds of the forest.
What's making that noise? It's the trees. What? You remember the old forest on the borders of Buckland? Folk used to say there was something in the water that made the trees grow tall and come alive. Alive. Trees that could whisper, talk to each other, even move.
The tree of Gondor. Traditionally, the symbolism in the design of the tree, with the 7 stars sometimes depicted with a crown, is emblematic of hope and life renewed, the return of the king. But as of late, for me, it has taken on yet a deeper meaning. In Isaiah 11:10-13, we read of a clear prophecy regarding Christ, described as the root of Jesse, and a beautiful picture of the enemies of him being cut off and the people of all nations gathered to him. But a few verses earlier, we see that the tree has been cut down to the stump. Yet a shoot comes forth, and from this, fruit will also come. Hundreds of years later, Jesus says in John 15:1-11, that he is the true vine, the shoot, who rose from the stump of Jesse, and the branches are being pruned. Who are these branches? In Romans 11:17-24, Paul describes the Gentiles as being branches grafted into this tree, being nourished by the root. In such a beautiful image, we see the root of Jesse, the Old Testament and the law given by God, Jesus being the vine or shoot, the branches, both Messianic Jews and the Gentiles, grafted into the tree, and as a bonus, 7 stars representing the 7 churches in Revelation, each star the pastor of those churches. And finally, the crown, our King, Jesus, ruling over his fledgling kingdom, but inevitably to become such that all peoples will be affected by it. For me, the tree of Gondor represents the 1st century church, and from its seeds will become a forest. All hail the King, Jesus Christ, our Lord.
Yeah, I actually like that breakdown. That was an interesting breakdown. I never seen somebody correlate that before. Shout out to E.Disciple for that beautiful work.
Let me be clear. The Lord of the Rings is absolutely based on Norse and English history. But it is also possible that, let me be clear, the Lord of the Rings is absolutely based on Norse and English history. But it is also possible that Tolkien was heavily influenced by Ethiopian history. Here are some of the most glaring similarities between Ethiopian history and Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings, we have the city of Gorgoroth. In Ethiopia, we have the city of Gogora. Lord of the Rings, Harad. Ethiopia, Harar. Lord of the Rings, Barajil. Ethiopia, Bahida. Lord of the Rings, Rohan. Ethiopia, Roha. And Roha, which is now known as Lalibela, has always been known for its rich horse riding culture, even today, much like the riders of Rohan in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, Gondor. Ethiopia, Gondar. And here is where it gets really...
I'm sorry, but he's spitting. Oh my God.
Interesting. Roha was the capital of Ethiopia for centuries, even after its name was changed to Lalibela in the 13th century. Eventually, the capital was moved to Gondar, which, just like Gondor, the land of stone, is famous for its medieval-type stone castles. It gets even better. The capital of Gondor in Lord of the Rings is Minas Tirith, the name of the emperor who first suggested that Ethiopia's new capital be established in the Gondar region, Emperor Minas. And in Lord of the Rings, we have the white tree of Gondor, which represents hope, peace, and the power of the kings. In the middle of Ethiopia's Gondar stands a 300-year-old tree named Jantekel, planted by the city's founder, Emperor Fasilides, in the 1600s as a symbol of, guess what? Hope, peace, and the power of the emperors. The most famous mountain in Lord of the Rings is Mount Doom, which in Tolkien's Sindarin language is called Urodrain, which means fiery mountain. The most famous mountain in Ethiopia, though not a real mountain, is Eta Ale, which in the local language means smoking mountain. Fiery mountain, smoking mountain. But there is more. Mount Doom is known for having a massive lava lake in which Frodo Baggins destroyed the Ring of Power. And guess what? Eta Ale is best known for having the longest existing lava lake in the world since the early 20th century. You may learn more about Ethiopia's rich medieval history from my historical fiction novel, The Red Monk of Roha, which is set in the 13th century Ethiopian capital city of Roha, and it is inspired by actual events.
Hey, he was spitting. I might get that book. He was spitting. My goodness. Let's get back on these dark waters, man. There's some fire on these waters. Y'all better be careful, man. Keep your head on a swivel. That was Darkness 9 Waters for real. I love it.
Family, this might be the biggest discovery ever known to mankind. Look at this. This is the Ancestor Republic over here. Yes, I'm talking about the ice wall. This one. And this one. And family, they are all located in the Antarctica. Look at this. Family, tell me if this is man-made or this is made by the nature. This is the latest findings of NASA, but there is way more that other people are finding. You see the earth, some say flat, some say round, but a fact is that it's a part of the known land. And this is the known land. This is the earth we know. You see Australia, Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, South America, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. But family, what is behind the ice wall? Look. Look family, these are all the lands behind the ice wall. And also the inner ring. There is even a movie that is called Lord of the Rings. Look family, it's not for nothing. Look. Look all these rings. Lord of the Rings. Let's talk about the second ring, the land behind the ice wall. Let's talk about Ancestor Republic.
They cooking. Why are they cooking on these creepy and scary TikToks? My goodness. Dark Water 9 for real. This is Dark Water 9 territory. Make sure you got your life jacket. Oxygen levels. They stay on critical.
We have all witnessed a lightning storm, but not everyone has seen lightning sprites or even know that it exists. Lightning sprites appear as red-orange flashes with bluish hanging tendrils below, and occur in the mesosphere at an altitude range of 31 to 56 miles high above thunderstorm clouds. The phenomena is generally triggered by the discharges of positive lightning between an underlying thundercloud and the ground. Scientists have known about the existence of lightning sprites dating back to 1886. But it wasn't until 1989 when they were first photographed. We have all witnessed a lightning storm.
This is a completely unaltered image of a natural phenomenon that's known as a red sprite. Red sprites are so rare that they weren't photographed until about 27 years ago in 1944. And I know they look like atmospheric beasts/alien things, but they're actually a form of lightning that occur high above thunderstorms. So high that they can actually be 50 miles above the Earth's surface, so keep an eye out. They're still not 100% sure why this happens, but they think it may be a way storms get rid of excess electrical charges. Or space jellyfish. Pretty crazy, watch out for them.
That's the actual thunderstorm. This is above the thunderstorm, 50 miles. Wow, look at that. That looks incredible. There's no way. It looks like a root system. Like some type of energy root system. Is this harnessing the ether? Boy, we on to something, man. The pieces are starting to come together. We are definitely... Oh, they already know. Let's go. Let's go. They got lightning storms. You know, it's all different types of stuff. But don't worry, we're going to break it down. We're going to take our time with this one. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button so we can boost these videos, share it with your friends and family. You know, I'm glad I can talk to you guys about this type of stuff, you know. I love it. But anyways, let's keep it going.
There's extreme flashing happening for the past. Whoa. What the? What the hell? That was like bright red.
That is interesting. That looks like a direct beam. Something's definitely pointing at it through the clouds, though. Like almost looks like a target. It says a weird activity caught in the mountains of Mexico. Interesting. I'm trying to see if the light matches the cloud. Yeah, it does. It matches perfectly, the cloud and the ground. Both of the light comes on at the same time. The brightness even flickers within the cloud. Huh. What is that, y'all? That cloud one was definitely interesting. Your thoughts on below. What do you think that could be? Let's continue to dive on these waters. Hang on. I hope you got your life vest. I hope you got your seatbelt on, because we're about to turn up the nitros.
Imagine you're just flying around and you see that. For years, pilots reported seeing these jellyfish-like lights high above the clouds. Nobody knew what they were, but some people were convinced that these were UFOs and must be evidence of aliens visiting Earth. For a long time, they were really elusive until someone accidentally captured them on camera and they were seen from the International Space Station. At that point, scientists started looking into them and they realized that they were happening above storm clouds and seemed to be triggered by lightning. Since then, they've been observed countless times all over the world, so they seem to be a pretty common occurrence. And we now know that they happen very high up in the atmosphere and are a type of transient luminous event, which includes blue jets. But beyond that, we don't know much else, and red sprites actually remain pretty poorly understood. But we can say for sure it wasn't aliens. Imagine you're just flying around and you see
This is a pilot right here. We can see his instruments. Right here at the bottom, we can see his instruments. This is a pilot right here. You see, this is the horizon. You can see the horizon. And this is the lightning. This pilot has to be high up. Look how high up this pilot is. Cause this looks like cloud, Earth, you know? So I'm estimating he has to be at least 150,000 feet up, you know? And this lightning is just shooting up out of the earth. You know, all the electric energy gathering at one point, just coming out like a rocket jet. You know, just, you know, going crazy. Interesting. You can see the lightning going on under the clouds. So it's almost like a built-up discharge of high, pure energy. Imagine if they knew how to harness that. Imagine how much energy, if you could harness that jet, imagine what you could power. Man, we definitely on to something with these. And it's a mystery. People really don't know what these are. This is a mystery. And it's happening. There's no denying it. We're looking at it happen. Everybody's talking about it. So something is going on. I am highly interested in this. Look at this one. This one says rare footage. Look at that. That is massive. How much energy is being channeled? Look at that. Spectacular red sprite caught in China's Gondor caught on camera. Wow. Oh, there it is. You saw that green? So when you're looking up at the sky, not only are we looking for UFOs, not only are we looking for flying comets, I still don't know what a comet is. Not only are we looking for planets, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Pluto, not only are we looking for those, we gotta be looking for these sprites that's popping up. There it was. There it is close up. Let's see if I can pause it right where it's at. Shine. Oh, damn, I missed it. Wow, look at that. It didn't make a sound or anything. You know, I at least thought it would make like a whistle or some type of high pitch. Or maybe you gotta be closer, just not close enough. Oh, so that's where they got that from. They knew. How did they know this already, though? I hope y'all can hear this music. It's banging. Alright, y'all quit. But that's where they got that though. That's where they got that from though. That's a cool image. Alright guys, I know how much you guys love going into Darkness 9 waters, so we about to go into it. Those that can't handle it, this is your chance to exit the video now. I'll give y'all 3 seconds to turn back actually. 1, 2, 3. Alright, I warned y'all. Now you in Darkness water 9. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna do my best to read. Shortly after the heliocentric model was theorized, many books of the Bible were removed. One of those books warned us about this deception. Here is the warning. Enoch chapter 86. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them, and the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners. I didn't know how much time I had, y'all, so. And the thoughts of those on the earth shall, or concerning them, and the stars be altered from all their ways. Yeah, they shall, and take them be gods. My fault, y'all. Let me go back. And be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them. It says, is there a barrier up there? It appears so. These chief stars, aka planets, are all named after gods. It is time we step away from our busy lives and find out who we really are. You are about to see rare videos of the firmament. They were filmed by many scientists many miles above the clouds. During a phenomenon that all were mentioned in the book of Enoch, that were also mentioned in the book of Enoch. A phenomenon, so these sprites we've been talking about, and other things I saw concerning lightning, how some of the stars rise and become lightning, but cannot lose their form. What? We're on to something. Enoch 44, verse 1. Scientists went above the storm to feel this exact phenomenon. Special high-speed cameras capture the firmament at the height at about 70 miles. Oh, that's it? Uh-oh. Guys, I got this audio playing, but you can't hear it because the music's banging so loud. But let me try to listen to it real quick, decipher it, then I'm gonna come back and tell you what it was, so we can better explain this. They got special permission. The people that went up and saw this recording, what you're seeing now, they're saying this is the actual firmament. And they're using a special device to try and measure how much they're trying to measure. Let me see if I can say it. Alright, y'all. This document is important. This document that you're seeing right here in front of you, read it. I'm gonna leave it here for a little bit, but basically what it's saying is that there's a device designed by V. Doc. You can see his name when I put it there. There's a device he used. There's a device he made that was specifically used to measure the brightness of the firmament. And that is what we're about to witness. This is actual video of that. They're trying to measure the brightness and probably the temperature. But let's read everything we can on this document so we can literally see what they doing. You can't make this up. For entertainment purposes only. For entertainment purposes only, y'all. This is Dark Water 9. This is Darkness 9 Waters. This is Darkness 9 Waters for real. Y'all. If they did this back in the 1980s or 60s when they did, how come we ain't heard about it? Huh? This is the first time we done heard about it. Hit that like and subscribe button and share this to your friends and family. Well, let's dive in. I want to see what this says. All right, give me a sec, y'all. That's the Coven. Hold on. That's the best we got. This is the best we got of that letter. Alright? Damn. This is a secret document. Let me try to read this. Coven, physics and mathematics scientists. I just was watching Oppenheimer yesterday. You know? And these physics, these mathematical scientists, they ain't playing. You know, it's a race. If they did this back in the 60s and 80s, it ain't no telling what they doing now. But let's try to dive this letter in, man. Physics, mathematical scientist, E.S. Kostakov. Mathematical scientist, Shizavesky, March 20. This the best we got. This doesn't. One of them was a visual optometer. Approved for release. 9/15/2000. Damn, I can't. The observations were locations at various altitudes above climate, meteorological, carried away during the high atmosphere. Snow covered. Man. Investigations were used. One of the. Man, I can't read this. We're missing so much. We need this letter. Man.
We need more information. The result of many years of daytime sky observation were carried out in various locations, high altitude, above locations, above meteorological and symmatic conditions. Meteorological and symmatic conditions. So that means it had to be been a thunderstorm. It had to be an intense, severe thunderstorm going on. And they had to fly above it for many hours to get this footage. Okay, we breaking it down. We dissecting this. They thought they could get away from us, but they can't. Not today, baby. Alright. Now, knowing what we could have absorbed from this letter, let's move on. I'm in no rush with this one, baby. Please. We're gonna take our time with this. I'm in no rush. Let's go. Do you see that? Tell me that. We just was talking about geysers yesterday. Alright, hold on, let me read what he was saying. This is a creepy and scary TikTok that might just change your reality and keep you up at night. All that. It is the same barrier that they tried to break through at the Tower of Babel. Babel. And in the recent times with, I ain't even gonna say that. Y'all can read that. In recent times, operation using high altitude. You know what? What time was this? Because in Oppenheimer, wasn't they? Hold on. Recent times with operation using. Where's my phone at? Hold on, y'all. We gotta figure this out. I need to see what year. $1962. Hold on. I watched the movie Oppenheimer. $1945. 1962. 1945. What is going on? Was a part of what is that? Dominic means of the Lord. Together you have Fishbowl of the Lord. What is going on? These waters are never ending. They failed again to destroy the Father's handiwork. What? Yo. Genesis 1:6. Let there be a dome in the middle of the waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters. God made the dome and divided the most high divided the waters. The image of Halley Comet. What is Halley's Comet?
I was working on this video and I seen we were on Halley's Comet. I remember finding a rare video of a pass-by of Halley's Comet. I'm gonna throw that up right now. This is a close-up of an actual comet. To me, it looked like it's scraping against something. What about you? Halley's Comet.
What is a comet? I genuinely want to know. Light shining into the waters above? Wait a minute. Is it riding the firmament for entertainment purposes only? Is the comet riding the... There's no way. Volcanoes? What are volcanoes? What is that say? A sinkhole is an extinct volcano. And something else y'all want to think about. When we looking at the moon, I'm going to throw an image of the moon over there. If craters are what we think they are, geysers, then what exactly is going on with the moon if that is the case? That's my next question. I got time today. I got nothing but time today, y'all. I'ma keep it gangster with y'all. I got time today. Oh, the pieces are adding up. For entertainment purposes only. Tell me those aren't what I think they are? Not a scientific experiment that we can prove what a sprite is? Is that what you're telling me? Oh no, not this. Not like this. Uh-oh. What is that? Hold on, we gotta read what that says. Pause. Hey, y'all zoom in, go close to the TV so y'all can read that, because that's exactly what I'm about to do. We seeing this for the first time together. This is a reaction. You know, I ain't got time to rehearse these. These are reactions, a creepy and scary TikTok that might change your reaction or might keep you up at night, all that, or might change your reality. My fault, y'all. But yeah, we gotta read what this one says. Oh boy, it's showing where they're landing. Wow. See what happens when an amateur doesn't follow the usual flight plan. Uh-oh, what do we see? That's 73 miles. That's how high this rocket is. Not only is the horizon at 73 miles. Wow. sun rises as it moves and sets as it moves away.
Guys, that video was entertaining. Guys, that creepy and scary TikTok was very interesting. I want to go back to that electricity experiment inside that dome. Let's see if we can find a few more of those.
This is called a plasma ball. It has a lot of electricity going from the center, coming out to the outside, and if I put my hand here, it follows my hand around and goes through me and down to the ground, and it will do that even if I don't actually touch it. It will still follow my hand around, it's still charging my hand, and we can see this. If I put a fluorescent light here, it's strong enough to make the fluorescent light light up. Even if I hold it away from the spark, it's still got enough electricity to make it light up. And we can see even if I hold my hand here, it's just lighting the bottom half of it and then going through my hand. Whereas if I move my hand all the way to the top, it goes all the way to the top of it. And you can see that even if I turn it around, it's going through the bottom half of the fluorescent light and then through me and down to the ground. So
that plasma ball makes a little bit more sense now, doesn't it? I wonder if that's how wireless electricity was getting around so easily. As we can see with the sprites, is definitely getting connected. Let's dive a little bit deeper, y'all.
Look at this little guy. I got this plasma ball at 5 and below for $5. It runs on batteries. But it got me thinking. What do you think happens if we touch the plasma balls together? Let's find out. Whoa, can you hear that? That is crazy. Looks like a sci-fi movie. Look at this little guy. I got this plasma ball at 5 and below for $5. It runs on batteries. But it got me thinking.
This is incredibly interesting.
What do you think happens if we touch the plasma balls together? Let's find out. Whoa, can you hear that? That is crazy. Looks like a sci-fi movie.
Look at the size of this plasma globe. It's twice the diameter of my second biggest globe, which means that it has 8 times the volume of plasma. Inside is a mixture of noble gases that's hit with a high voltage, high frequency AC, and like the smaller globe, touching the surface causes an arc to go to your finger. Pretty cool, right? Look at the size of this plasma globe.
Appears to open.
Now we get.
Does this prove time travel is possible?
Now we getting somewhere.
Or just a ball spinning at hypersonic speed.
This is
a portal appears to open.
Be a joke, but we need to dive a little bit deeper.
Does this prove?
Maybe if you had 2 wireless plasma balls going like that, maybe something might happen then.
3. Wireless energy transmission. Okay, that's actually really awesome. And 4. Powering it with the Tesla coil.
Hold on a second. This thing got overcharged when he did that. What is going on?
Let me know your favorite experiments in the comments. 4. Powering it with a Tesla coil. Let me know your favorite experiments in the comments. Okay, that's actually really awesome. And 4. Powering it with a Tesla coil. Let me know your favorite experiments in the comments. Which of these 4 plasma globe experiments is the coolest? 1. There is probably the coolest thing I've ever made from garbage. I had to salvage parts from 20 dead microwaves just to build the ballast, and I picked 4 of the best transformers from those ovens and threw them in those metal cans. That coil right there is just some refrigeration tubing, and then this top load here is just some aluminum ducting wrapped into a donut shape. The most hilarious part of this Tesla coil is that I'm using an angle grinder to switch the tank circuit, which is quite primitive compared to modern versions using transistors. Well, here goes nothing. Pretty cool, right?
It's incredibly interesting what you can build when you have the right type of knowledge. You know, props to him for doing that.
Quick update on my giant Tesla coil. I swapped out the capacitors in the tank circuit with this huge Soviet military capacitor, and I'm already getting much better results. I still have to adjust a bunch of the circuit's values, but at least I've already made a huge improvement. I also built this little interrupter circuit here. It cuts the ground connection to the vacuum tube until the anode voltage is maximized, which allows it to operate in pulses like this.
This is Styro Pyro on TikTok.
I was storm chasing the other night and noticed something interesting when my car was nearly hit by lightning. Did you hear that hiss right before the strike? Let me play that again. This is actually the same noise that my voltage multiplier makes when powered up, and this is no coincidence. In both cases, the sound is due to corona discharge caused by the extreme electric field. In fact, if you're outside in a thunderstorm and you hear this hiss, you can expect a very close lightning strike within seconds. That was pretty cool. I was storm chasing the other night and noticed something. Here I've hooked up this old xenon flash lamp up to a high voltage DC source. So what happens if I stick it in a big magnet? Check it out. You get this crazy spinning plasma vortex. The magnetic field deflects the moving charged particles via the Lorentz force, and in fact you get a similar effect by drawing DC arcs directly off of a big magnet. Pretty cool, right? Check it out. You get this crazy spinning plasma vortex. The magnetic field deflects the moving charged particles via the Lorentz force, and in fact you get a similar effect by drawing DC arcs directly off of a big magnet. Pretty cool, right?
Did you see the circular motion of the plasma as soon as it got in contact with the magnetic force? I got another one we need to check out. Let's dive deeper. This is actually going to be Darkness 9 waters, what we're about to get into. So let's switch it up and get into it. I got time today, boys and girls. I got time today, boys and girls. I see y'all, man. Shout out to everyone that's watching it. Shout out to y'all in the UK. Shout out to y'all in Texas. Shout out to y'all in Cali, Michigan, Florida. I see y'all, man. Everyone in the comments, I read those. I read the comments. Y'all ain't get y'all smoothie yet, did y'all, man? I told y'all to go get that smoothie. A lot of y'all's on my dome about frozen smoothie, but hey, that's what I can afford. And it lasts longer. You know, I might not get to it on time, but when you get that smoothie, I get frozen, and I like the cold shake with it. So y'all need to be eating better. Get the frozen smoothie and get apple juice or orange juice to go with it. You know, mix it up. Get a frozen bag. It can be frozen strawberries, pineapples, mangoes, strawberries, all together in a mixed bag, and then you can get you a fresh banana. Put all that in a blender with a little bit of orange juice and splash it up and let the blender do its magic and get it nice and smooth. You might have to put a big spoon in there, mix it a couple times, and then hit the blender button again just to get it all blended up for you. But you need to do it. You need to be getting your fruit in you. Your body needs those type of vegetables, especially when it's blended up. If y'all can afford the fresh vegetables and do everything the fancy way, but more power to you. I'm just, some of y'all might be on the front lines. I get it. Trust me. That's why I get them great value frozen boys. Throw it in, drop a couple on the ground, scoop them up from the ground, throw them boys back in the blender, dirty and everything. Then I splash some orange juice in there, and I hit that grinder button, and I chug that boy. Refreshing, forehead be sweating, getting all them toxins up out of you. Y'all gotta be doing that more, man. Y'all be eating them burgers, that pizza, that fast food, that Chinese food. I know y'all be eating good. Them quesadillas, them tacos, y'all ain't saved me none. But anyways, we gonna keep it rolling, because I got something else I want to dive in and show you that's related to this topic. Again, about that plasma that was spinning as soon as it got in contact with that magnet. That was extremely interesting, and there's a reason for that spin. Let's see if we can dive down into it.
Force fields, baby.
His greatest discovery was the counter-rotating fields of magnetism. He understood that the magnetic field doesn't just come out of the North Pole and into the South Pole in straight lines. He knew that the magnetic field swirls out of the North Pole and into the South Pole, and swirls out of the South Pole into the North Pole. The atom is a whirlpool of energy, and the human energy field works exactly the same way. That's why the first man was named Adam, because every atom is polarized with a north and south pole. Therefore, collectively, we have one north and one south pole as a giant atom. When you break a magnet into a million pieces, each atom is a miniature magnet with a north and south pole. The inner volume of every atom is magnetodielectricity, or diamagnetism, which is magnetism and dielectricity collectively, which is the repelling and attracting forces of a magnet. That is the yin and yang, compressions and rarefactions of the medium. And that is what we call the ether, working in dynamic polarization against itself. The current model and concept of an atom is incorrect. The true model is that atoms are not particles. They are torus fields of pure energy. It's called dielectricity and magnetism, the conjugate binaries of the universe. Atoms are torus fields of pure energy. The dielectric field is information. It's also called counter space. It's the non-Cartesian nexus of life where everything springs from and returns to. It's also called the ether, and Nikola Tesla said that all things come from the luminiferous ether. The ether is the dielectric field. The ether in motion is the magnetic field. It's the loss of energy or inertia. Pure potential is what the ether is. It's the non-Cartesian nexus from which all life springs from and returns to. It's the non-physical source point of all creation. It's everywhere but yet nowhere. 0 point energy. The main point I'm trying to make is that Nikola Tesla understood. He understood that which is invisible is the cause, and everything visible is the effect or attribute of source. He knew that the inner volume of every atom was magnetodielectricity, or diamagnetism, and the outer volume of the atom was electricity or electromagnetism. Therefore, his tower, called Wardenclyffe Tower in Long Island, New York, it was a magnetic field amplifier, and it produced free energy for the world. It was not electricity, it was diamagnetism. He called a day at work churning the ether. When you block off any external fields, what's left in the middle is 0 point energy. The human body works the same. Works just like Tesla's tower, and it works just like the pyramids. The government in modern science wants you to think that the universe started from an explosion called the Big Bang, but the truth is there's constant imploding and exploding phenomena happening at the core of everything. It is a fractal and reflection of the infinite potential that is pure conscious, loving energy. Some call it God, some people call it life itself, others call it the ether. Nikola
Boy, oh boy, are the pieces starting to add up, y'all. Y'all thoughts below. If y'all still with me, I'm not done. But if you're with me, y'all still with me. Y'all know how we end these videos, but I'm not done. This is a long video, but I love this, man. I really enjoy this. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me. But let's dive a little bit deeper. I'm not done. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you're new and you're on the fence, you got a lot of other stuff to go back to and check out. But hey, let's go. The rest of us, we on these jet skis. Y'all got to keep up, man. They got their seatbelt. We all buckled in these darkness 9 waters. Let's go.
Plasma phenomena, cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain that the moon is not a piece of rock, but it is a plasma phenomenon, a cosmic plasma, and that this fact will eventually be confirmed. I made certain predictions which were already confirmed in 1958, and the situation now is coming close to a complete confirmation.
What will be the result if you are proved to be correct in your theories?
The result will be profound and decisive, because it will give proof that a complete reinvestigation of the laws of nature is necessary. Because if the moon is a plasma, no man will ever land on it. The soft landing attempts will all fail. That means that the mass of the moon is less, far less, than is currently assumed. It's in a different state of energy, and it has far less mass. That means there is no more explanation for the tides. If the moon, for example, had only 1,000th part of its current mass, then the tides would only be 2 inches high under conventional theories instead of sometimes 14 feet. And that means that if it is proved that the moon is a plasma, then all gravitational theories are out, and a new concept of the cosmos and of its laws has to be evolved.
Look at those.
I had a chance to work on a Danish experiment called Thor, which is actually a precursor to a larger experiment called Asim, which will be launched into space in the next couple of years. The purpose of Asim is to photograph and study some of these lightning phenomena that we call blue jets and red sprites. And these are lightning that shoots up into space or up towards the outer edges of our atmosphere rather than down to the ground. We don't know very much about it. We don't know how often these lightning phenomena occur or under what conditions or what effect they have on our atmosphere. But the purpose of Thor during my mission was simply to try to take some pictures or video of some of these lightning phenomena. One evening, I was sitting in Cupola, and we were flying over India when I saw this gigantic thunderstorm begin. So here you can see a gigantic thundercloud that's lit up by what we would call traditional lightning. So here we have these red sprites. So this is red lightning that's shooting upwards out towards space at the same time that there's traditional white lightning that we know. And as I looked further, I also saw this. So here we have one of these blue jets, so blue lightning again shooting up into space. And I actually managed to capture that on film. So in about 4 seconds right here, you'll see this blue lightning. There we go. According to the researchers, this is the first time they've ever seen this blue lightning shoot up like that. So they are very, very excited about it and have already started to analyze the data to try to get a better understanding. It bodes very well for the future when Asim will be up there in the next couple of years. And hopefully Asim will help us to understand this much, much better. Because as I said, it's something that we know very, very little about at the moment.
I want you guys to take a look at something. Do you see that red thing? That red thing looks awfully familiar. Let me show you where I seen that red thing from. This looks like it's a high altitude observation deck. And this is how they're getting this. So this means this aircraft is flying in the upper atmosphere recording this. What you're looking down is basically at the earth and the cloud at nighttime. But let me show you where I've seen this red contraction before. Hold on a second, y'all. This is where that red thing looked familiar to me. If you see it. This is where it looked familiar. And they said this is the Aurora Borealis. The Russian space station captured this. Hold on, let me zoom it out for you. Just on that space station, when I saw that red thing coming up, this is what it said. But don't really pay attention too much to what they said. It's this picture. See how this is zoomed out and it's like red? There, you guys can get a good view of it. Man. What are they trying to show us? All right, let me go back because I'm not done.
Traditional lightning. When I saw this gigantic thunderstorm begin our atmosphere rather than...
And it also makes me think, if this is a blue jet, if this is what we're looking at, and this is a blue jet, they're saying these red sprites pop up and they hit this elf. Elf? What is this elf? Up in the ionosphere? This is a stratosphere, and this is a mesosphere. So, they're saying the elf is busting up there. That look like it's hitting something, y'all. That's definitely hitting something. For entertainment purposes, of course. This entire video, entertainment purposes. But look at this, it's looking like it's hitting the firmament. My bad for yelling, y'all, but it looked like it's hitting the firmament. Let's go back.
Down to the ground. We don't know a gigantic thundercloud that's lit up by what we would call traditional lightning. This is red lightning. Same time that I also saw this. up into space. So in about 4 seconds right here, you'll see this blue lightning. There we go.
What is this then? That's my question. Is this the elf they're talking about? The ionosphere, the firmament. The waters above. The first time they had it correct. Because this is the elf they're talking about and how it's coming up out of the firmament. Damn, y'all. This was a crazy one. I'm not gonna hold you.
Maybe you're like me and one of your Christmas gifts was bookends of the Argonath from Lord of the Rings. Maybe you're like me and noticed something very interesting on the box that the bookends came in. You see, on the end of the box, it doesn't say Argonath, it actually says Isildur and Anarion bookends. This makes sense because in the book, the Argonath is a statue of Isildur and his brother Anarion. They founded and ruled Gondor together. But this is not Anarion. So these bookends are based on the Argonath as it's portrayed in the films, where Anarion has been replaced with Elendil, their father. You can see here he's even holding Narsil, his famous sword that's used to cut the ring off Sauron's hand. This was a choice made by Peter Jackson because we meet Elendil in the prologue and we never meet or hear about Anarion at all. So it made more sense for this monument to feature someone that the viewers would recognize. So these bookends aren't wrong, they match the lore that's presented in the films, and the box isn't really wrong either, because in the books it is Isildur and Anarion that you see in the Argonath. It's just
Everybody knows about this scene in Lord of the Rings, where Aragorn kicks the orc's helmet so hard that in real life, Viggo Mortensen actually broke his toe, and this is his real reaction to the pain that he's in. So here are some lesser-known facts that you didn't know about Lord of the Rings films. Here the flag falls off his banner completely accidentally. One of the stagehands didn't attach it correctly, but it fits so well with the scene. As our trio arrives in Edoras, you actually see Aragorn's real reaction to a flag just randomly flying in the wind. This is Viggo Mortensen's real reaction, but it fits so well as we see the sort of crumbling of Rohan. Here, acclaimed actor Christopher Lee, who played Saruman, used to always bark on set when Legolas, played by Orlando Bloom, showed up. So much so that Peter Jackson, the director, actually had to kill off Saruman in this deleted scene.
This is the incredible true story about one woman who decided to climb a tree and not come down until she truly made a difference. On December 10th, 1997, Julia Butterfly Hill ascended a 1,000-year-old lightning-struck redwood tree named Luna to a height of 180 feet. It is also referred to as the Stafford Giant due to its proximity to the small community of Stafford. Julia lived on two 6x4-foot platforms for 738 days. She learned many survival skills while living in Luna, such as seldom washing the soles of her feet, because the sap helped her feet stick to the branches better. She would use solar-powered cell phones to do radio interviews, and she actually became an in-tree correspondent for a cable television show. She would also host TV crews to protest old-growth clear-cutting. With ropes, Julia hoisted up survival supplies brought by an 8-member support crew. And to keep warm, she wrapped herself tight in a sleeping bag, leaving only a small hole for breathing. For meals, she would use a single-burner propane stove. Throughout her ordeal, she weathered freezing rains and 40-mile-per-hour winds from El Nino, helicopter harassment, a 10-day siege by company security guards, and attempted intimidation by angry loggers. A resolution was finally reached in 1999 when the Pacific Lumber Company agreed to preserve Luna and all trees within the 200-foot buffer zone. In exchange, Julia agreed to vacate the tree, and the $50,000 that her and other activists raised during the cause was given to the logging company, as stipulated by the resolution. Although they would turn around and donate the money to Humboldt State University as part of the agreement for research into sustainable forestry. Sadly, vandals later cut a major gash into the tree with a chainsaw that was approximately 32 inches deep and 19 feet around the base, which is somewhat less than half the circumference of the tree. Fortunately though, in 2001, Eureka civil engineer Steve Salzman headed Luna's medical team, which designed and built a bracing system to help the tree withstand the extreme windstorms with peak winds between 60 and 100 miles per hour. They were assisted by the Humboldt State University professor, Stephen Sillett, and as of spring 2007, the tree was doing well with new growth each year. Caretakers routinely climb the tree to check its condition and maintain the steel guy wires. But as far as I know, Julia has never climbed it again. But that's the amazing story about how one woman decided to climb a tree and truly make a difference.
Alright y'all, that's all I got for today's movie. If you made it this far, some words of encouragement would help your boy a lot. And also like and subscribe. If I made you laugh, if you learned something, I appreciate it, man. We going hard, man. And I got some exciting news coming soon, y'all. And you're gonna love it, y'all. I'm working hard, man. I'm working very hard, man. Trying my best at this. Yeah, but I appreciate all you guys for jumping in the comments, your words of encouragement, man. It really helps a lot, man. I'm glad to be on this journey with y'all together, man. This is what a blessing. You know, that's all praises to the Most High, and I just want to thank y'all for everything. And I'll see y'all on tomorrow's episode again when we on these dark waters. Dark Water 9. Peace out.